Jeff, you got an off week this week, and then you got two opponents that you're going to be huge favorites over. How important is it for you guys to maintain your focus in this stretch before you hit Penn State, Michigan, or whatever else?
I think it's really important to maintain that focus just because, like you've seen in the past, 1 week can ruin your whole season. So we're trying to, I guess, go against Maryland with just a fresh mindset and just try to go end the week 1-0.
How much do you guys still think about Iowa, Purdue, and just that it's not going to happen to these teams?
I mean, it's hard to forget about it just because it's part of our program. I mean, most of the guys, a lot of guys that are part of those games are still here, and we know that I guess what's in the past, so we try to avoid it.
Jeff, what do you want to get done this week?
I was just talking to Coach Halfley. He just said we want to just polish up our fundamentals. You know, over the course of a season, things kind of slip away from you, so just fine-tuning all those little things and just put that in kind of the bank moving forward.
I know you guys just had this, off day a couple of weeks ago and did the list of what to 3 up and 3 forward and all that. Are you doing that sort of stuff again, or just a refresh with fundamentals this week?
I don't think we're doing that again just because, it was just 2 weeks ago. We had a bye week.
Yeah.
But I know the coach is going to put a big emphasis on refreshing those fundamentals.
What kind of bonus is that, having a second bye week when you usually only have one in terms of your recovery, in terms of getting ready for the home stretch of the year?
I think it's a big bonus. It's the first time that I've had 2 bye weeks, especially so close together. So you got to give a lot of guys a chance to recover their bodies, over the course of a season. Fall camp, people tend to get injured. So having that extra week to recover before you head into the last 4-game stretch is really big.
You're a guy who's played more snaps this year than you played in previous years. How is your body at this point in the season, 8 games in?
I feel good. I know Coach Halfley, he's done a really good job of just make sure the DBs bodies feel good with kind of just implementing some NFL stuff, the way they rest the guys who play a lot of snaps, and I think that's been working out really well for us.
Jeffrey, what's the confidence level of this defense right now, and do you feel like you guys made a statement against Wisconsin?
I think the confidence level is really, really high. Like I said earlier on in the year, we're looking for redemption. So to get a chance to go against these teams and kind of show what we're able to do week in and week out, it's really big. So now we're just focused on going forward and playing a really good game against Maryland.
Jeff, the 2017 recruiting class, you guys are the crux of the team, guys like yourself, Chase Young, many others. You guys are ranked number 2 in the country that year. When did you know that was a special class? Did you guys kind of know right away when you came here?
I think, kind of right away. You saw J.K. making plays at a really early age. Chase, Sean, Barron, Wyatt. It's just a lot of guys that stepped up, made a lot of plays. So I think early on we had a feeling that this class would be special.
Jeff, when Coach Halfley came into the post-game room on Saturday, he was talking about the touchdown throw, and he said from his vantage point he was sure it was going to be picked off. What happened there? Were you getting pulled down a little bit behind? What happened on that play?
So when I went to look back for the football, I saw it in the air, and I thought it was just me and that receiver.
Yeah.
So it being an underthrown ball is where I was kind of getting ready to intercept it, and then all of a sudden, the second receiver appeared out of nowhere and just took it. And so it was like a kind of like play where you're just like, wow, what could have been. But at the end of the day, we're just glad that was the only points they scored.
Do you think they ran the wrong route? Because usually you wouldn't have 2 receivers right there. Do you think that was just
I think it was a clear out route. 1 and 2 ran a clear out route to set up number 3 on the 10-yard out, and then the quarterback just took a chance and tried to make a play. And unfortunately, he made that play.
What did Halfley say to you guys about that?
Having Chase Young on the field benefit you and the rest of the defense?
I think it's big just having someone that can, I think like Coach Halfley always tells us, you're only as strong as your D-line for the most part. So having those guys in the front, getting home, rushing the quarterback, it makes it easier for us because it's harder for them to run deeper, developing route concepts.
Yeah, because they have to, the other team has to account for them all the time.
Yep. You have to block. You have to block for a longer time. It just makes it harder, especially when you have someone like Chase getting back there so fast.
Jeff, I know you and Justin Hilliard aren't in the same room, so to speak, but when did you notice this year that he could rise up and be a factor maybe for this defense?
I've always known Justin Hilliard would be a playmaker just because I've seen him on special teams, the way Coach Meyer talked about him. He always spoke great things about him. So I think for him it's about just staying healthy and just waiting for it to translate onto defense. And it did. He made a really big play with that tackle for loss on Jonathan Taylor. And I think that just spoke to the work he's put in.
I was going to say, are you seeing 5-star, he was basically a 4.5, 5-star guy coming out like you were. Are you seeing him play to those capabilities now?
definitely. And I think as we go on, he's going to be really big for us coming into next week and even after that.
Jeff, last year you guys were the most penalized team in the country. This year you're among the least penalized teams. What was the emphasis like from the coaching staff in the offseason? How did you all get that turned around?
I think playing with technique, playing with better technique. Everyone here has been comfortable with their technique, so when you play within the technique that they teach you, it's hard to kind of get penalized because you're not holding or you're not interfering with receivers or you're looking at the ball, so you're not jumping off sides, things like that.
Did the coaching staff, I don't know, emphasize that any more coming into this year than maybe they have in the past when you were here, just because the number was so high last year?
I wouldn't even say they ever really emphasized penalties. It was just kind of like through what they coached us to do, our techniques got better, and then with the technique getting better, the penalties going down was a result of that.
Jeff, I asked
Couple more questions.
Coach about what your biggest contribution to the team is this year, and he was talking a lot about things like leadership and maturity. Just what are you proudest of as far as, I guess, maybe the presence you brought to the team this year?
Well, I think just going into the year, I just want to, after the season, everyone, even though we went 13-1, everyone had a sour taste in our mouth just because it was like a weird 13-1 with us having a lot of close games. It's teams that we thought that we were better than. So I wanted to just take a step up as a leader, be more vocal, kind of things that I would have held my tongue on last year, just speak out against it, and then on top of that, bring some of the young guys with me as far as showing them like what I want to do, like my process to getting ready for games, stuff like that. So I think that just kind of helped some of the younger guys get better.
Did you already kind of recognize that you could have that kind of impact just because of how well you play, and the fact you're a starter and everything, or did you want to go get that impact? You know what you understand the difference of what I'm asking? Did you feel you had to go kind of claim that?
Maybe not necessarily claim it, but Coach Mick was telling me that right after the Rose Bowl, he's like, it's time for you to take that next step in your development, and that's not necessarily talking about the way you play, but the way you lead people. So when he told me that after the Rose Bowl, I kind of had to a couple weeks to reflect on that, and then when I came in January, it was just time to put that into place.
Looking back on your recruitment, your personal recruitment, you could have went anywhere in the country. You're the number one corner. Was it close call between Ohio State and another school, or was Ohio State the clear favorite? Just kind of take me back if you would.
I think Ohio State, they were a favorite for a while, and then kind of towards the end, I wanted to make sure, so I was looking at Florida State, Oklahoma a lot, but just with the coaching staff that was already here and the way that DBs have been coming out, first round picks and all that, it just kind of made sense for me to come to Ohio State.
Hey Jeff, last question.
What were your when you first met Jeff Hoffey? I guess what was the initial conversations if you remember?
When I first met him, it was kind of I know anything about him. Honestly, he was kind of small. I just didn't know what he knew. So then just spending down with him and getting a chance to watch film with him, because the first thing we did was watch all my targets from last year, and he just gave feedback after every single rep. And after listening to him for that 1 hour session, it was okay, he knows what he's talking about. And then I listened to what he had to say, his plans for getting me better. And after that, it's I just bought in. It just made sense to buy in. I didn't just listen to them talk. When you play football long enough, you're around guys, if they know what they're talking about or not. And I knew that after that conversation that he knew exactly what he was talking about.
How quickly did he reach out to you after? It was announced that he got the job.
It had to be within days after he got, because he had to move his family from San Francisco, so he was doing a lot of things. But second he got here, the first day he was here, we met, and that's when that conversation took place.
So where do you think he's helped you the most? You've had a couple guys since you've been here. What do you think?
I would say he's helped with my technique. I would say that he's helped develop me as more of a leader. He's put more on my plate. Maybe not telling me to necessarily be a leader, but just putting more on my plate, just showing that he could trust me. And he's helped me just recognize with my growth as far as recognizing the X's and O's of the game, the little things that you see with offenses.
Just to follow up on one thing, you had said earlier about Coach Hafley helping you get rest and sort of bringing some sort of NFL technique to that. Can you describe that? What were you referring to?
Over the course of a season, as you start to get deeper into the season, you don't want to burn out your starters, so you kind of maybe scale their rest back a little bit, and you let the younger guys kind of start to develop a little bit more. But you let the starters we still pretty much have to be taking those mental reps, and we're still locked in. It's just you can't be burning out people over the course of the season, because on Saturday we're getting 50+ plays.